It's time to bring it in and bring out my list of the top 10 films of 2013. 2013 has been a down year for movies, not that good. It might be due to the rise in independent film, it might be due to the rise in the episodic series, which is a fancy term for TV shows since shows are online now. Regardless, I saw some great movies this year. I've narrowed it down to 10, and here it is. My list of the top 10 best movies of 2013, starting with a few runner-ups. Oblivion. Cool sci-fi story, nice performance by Tom Cruise, the soundtrack by M83 enhances it. Man of Steel, the superhero blockbuster from this summer that didn't do that much for me the first time around, but I've since seen it a second and third time, and it's grown on me significantly. All the problems I had with it the first time around were gone. I came to really enjoy the thrills and chills that it brings, and I think this is the Superman we have been waiting for. Escape Plan, the action movie that excels at being an action movie. And Lovelace, an interesting and unique capturing of the 70s time period and a unique capturing of the not-so-nice industry, filled with great performances by Amanda Seyfried and Peter Sarsgaard. Now the top 10. Number 10 on the list is Mud. This is a great performance-driven movie by Jeff Nichols. Not as good as his previous film Take Shelter, but it's really good thanks to performances from Matthew McConaughey, Michael Shannon, Joe Don Baker, and two very good child actors. I see a bright future for them. Number 9 on the list is Captain Phillips. Tom Hanks gives a great performance in a film that's based on the true story of bandits from Africa breaking in and trying to steal from the ship that belongs to Captain Richard Phillips. What I like about this film is that the bandits are not portrayed as one-dimensional. We get a sense of where they came from and what prompted them to go on this mission to steal from the ship. What I also like is that Captain Phillips is not portrayed as a hero. Yes, he is brave, but he is every bit as brave as he is frightened. Number 8 on the list is Gravity. There are some problems with this movie, some cheap writing, cheap dialogue here and there. I've heard that 3D takes the problems away, but it's the movie's job to get you to ignore the problems for the experience, not the 3D glasses. I saw it flat, and still, this is a mesmerizing, adventurous experience. I felt like the film took me up to space and back. A huge plus is the great performance from Sandra Bullock. At number 7, I have Dallas Buyers Club. Matthew McConaughey put in a lot of effort to prepare for his role in the true story of a man diagnosed with HIV and AIDS who worked real hard to get the proper treatments into the country and distribute it to others who needed it in 1970s Texas, at a time when research on HIV and AIDS wasn't as advanced as it is today. This film came out at a time when research on health conditions, and diseases took a huge twist and boom, so films like Elysium and Dallas Buyers Club were expected around this year, and Dallas Buyers Club triumphs. I liked Elysium too. Number 6. This is a film I wasn't expecting to like, and yet I loved it, and that is The Butler. Forrest Whitaker gives a great performance, but it seems like many people dismissed the movie rather quickly. The story is terrific and very well told. The final 15 minutes take a switch in tone and style. It's a little weird, but it doesn't take away from the experience. Dark elements involving racial poverty and the fight for racial equality in the 30s and 40s surround the film, while the story of a black butler working in the White House for many years is based on a real-life black butler that worked in the White House for many years. In terms of Lee Daniels movies, I didn't like Precious at all, but The Butler shows me that Lee Daniels does have great skill as a filmmaker. When you see the many stars that appear in the film and the producers' names in the opening credits, you see that it's clear that Lee Daniels has great connections to complete his work. But he uses those sources wisely. Forget the outside politics that have nothing to do with the film and see the film itself for what it is and what it brings. I loved it. It made me want to do more research on the real-life butler, and that's why it made the list. Number 5. Fruitvale Station. This is an independent feature film that received high praise at its film festivals and more praise upon its release. I spoke briefly with director Ryan Coogler at one of these festivals, and upon seeing the film, I must admit this is a beautifully told true story. It celebrates the life of a black man named Oscar Grant III, living in Oakland. On his last day, he meets with family, friends, and even enemies, when an incident occurs in his life all of these people come together. The film shows how much he meant to everyone and how the incident brought everyone together in one. The film features a breakout performance from Michael B. Jordan as Oscar, and I must admit the film hit me personally. Number 4, Rush. This is an awesome racing movie all about the dangers of Formula One racing, as it tells the true story of two rival racers played by Chris Hemsworth and Daniel Bruhl. There are some problems with it. Some of the pacing is off, some dialogue isn't that well, but I plan to see it again to see if I still have those problems. The bottom line, this is an incredible movie that builds up lots of tension as it progresses, and the final half hour is brilliant. I think this might be the best movie Ron Howard has directed in his career. I originally thought that this next film would be number 1, and I even wrote drafts of the list with this as the number 1 movie, but I can't help but feel like it's not the best movie of the year. It's still a masterpiece, though, and it's still number 3 on the list, Before Midnight. This is the third, and I've been told, final entry in Richard Linklater's Before trilogy, starring Ethan Hawke as Jesse and Julie Delpy as Celine. Before Sunrise showed them meeting for the first time, Before Sunset showed them finding each other again, and Before Midnight brings them together. These 3 films are all about life and what brings people together, and the third film is very rich in its dialogue and detail. Number 2, Mandela: Long Walk to Freedom. I originally neglected to see this film as it seemed too soon after the release of another Mandela film, but since this is a biopic of Mandela and the trailer and poster looked great, I gave it a viewing. I'm very happy to have seen this remarkable film, from its engaging opening to its depiction of Mandela's rough life in South Africa and his willingness to bring racial equality to the country. We see his time as a child, and it quickly moves to his time with his first wife, his time with his second wife, Winnie, his fight for freedom, his time in prison, the time that people advocate for his release, his wife's involvement in the movements, and Mandela's willingness to continue working for racial equality. Mandela is played by Idris Elba, and his wife Winnie is played by Naomi Harris. The two of them perform exceptionally well, and you can tell a lot of heart and passion went into making this film as great as it could be. It shows how much Justin Chadwick has improved as a director, and I really loved this film. And the number 1 film of 2013 is 12 Years a Slave. It's films of this caliber that take the audience on an incredible journey full of painful, heartbreaking moments, and at the end of it all, at the end of the journey, you feel like you've been hit hard. A few films from this year had that. Mandela: Long Walk to Freedom had that, and 12 Years a Slave did it best. Chiwetel Ejiofor is great in the lead role in the true story of a free man in the 1800s named Solomon Northup, who gets tricked and sold into slavery. Forced to live under this new life, he wonders if he will ever be free again and see his family again. The film features great supporting performances, including a surprise performance by Lupita Nyong'o. Through the film's raw imagery and willingness not to hold things back, it brings a riveting experience. With great direction by Steve McQueen, a great screenplay, and a great score, 12 Years a Slave truly is a one-of-a-kind film and the best film of 2013. And there's the list of the top 10 films of 2013. See these films if you haven't seen them yet. If you're into the Academy Awards, watch them too. Until next time, stay out of trouble, and I'll see you at the movies.